Hello and welcome. I am Super Dungeon Boy, and this is going to be a anime rant. Oh yes. You can call me Jay if you rather. That's as much as my name I'll give you. Anyways, so I was rewatching an old, well, not old, but pretty much recently done with, or what's the not recently? Wow, this is going off to a good start. Anyways, I was watching Dead Note, or Death Note, and I started thinking to myself as I was watching this. I rewatched it, by the way, and I was like, what are some things if you were Light Yagami, what would you have done differently? You know, would you have not killed L? Would you have tried to deal with him rather than Nier later on? Or would you have, what would you have done? And I started thinking about this, and I was like, you know what? There were so many mishaps that Light did, and it ultimately resulted into, well, if you watch the series, then you know. This rant does have tons of spoilers, so if you have not seen the anime or manga or whatever, just click it off and go do what you do. Hold on. Sorry, Anyways, so what were some things that I picked out from the series that you may have too? Well, Light, I mean, he could be this super genius or whatever it was, in high school he was like the #1 student, and, in the whole nation for that matter. And, somebody so smart was so careless. I mean, when it came down to L announcing himself, allegedly L, and it was only being broadcast in, the Tokyo region or whatever region Light Yagami lives in Japan. And it was purposely broadcast in that area because obviously, as you've seen in the series, that L, depicted that Light Yagami, or not Light Yagami, but Kira is amongst the Japanese citizens. So sure enough, they play it one time, and then, they're purposely trying to get Light to, Kira, I keep saying Light. So they're trying to get Kira into, doing something foolish, like killing this allegedly L on TV. Well, of course he does it, so that's mistake #1 right there, because he killed to give his demonstration of power. That's so stupid. Alright, so that was a huge, mistake right there. What's another one? Well, let's think of another one. Throughout the whole series up to, L's unfortunate passing, you would think that L, would catch on or have, I don't know, more of a connection between his evidence that, Light Yagami is in fact Kira. And, he does, he suspect him, then he doesn't, then he's not too sure, then he has these percents that he goes through, and he tells everyone, they're like, oh, I suspect Light Yagami, like, from the get-go. He's like, oh, I suspect him by 5%. Then it was like 10% or whatever percent, and then he always says whatever it is. And, I don't know, I was so surprised that L actually died. I mean, come on, And I know a lot of you out there are like, really? Like, why'd they kill L? Like, oh, him and Light Yagami were just like pretty much two sides of the same coin. Your light side and your dark side, your light side, dark Light Yagami. Anyways, but I don't know, when L died, Death Note really kind of just went, because I didn't give a crap about was it Mello and Nier, I didn't give a crap about those guys at all. And the other one, another stupid thing that Light Yagami did, he didn't trust his girlfriend slash fiance, whatever she is, Misa. You know, the little pop idol star chick. He should have just trusted her. I mean, she would have done anything for him. I mean, you know, he didn't care for her for some reason because she made so many little mistakes or whatever. But I don't know. I think Light made bigger mistakes than she did. I mean, she covered her tracks. I mean, she did stuff like having other people mail the little videos and all that stuff, and she thought a few things ahead, you know. And the other thing that Misa didn't have that Light has, and it's a bad thing, is a main enemy. Misa had no enemy. None. She was suspected through guilty by association that, you know, she's the second Kira, or she's working with Kira, or, you know, whatever. But I don't know. The other thing that Light did that was a mistake was I kind of see why he wanted to work with the Japanese task force thing on the Kira case and all that. But really? I mean, you wouldn't think... I mean, come on, man. Even if, you know... I don't want to say if I were a detective, but I don't have that kind of, you know, Batman-like thinking, you know, with detective skills and whatnot. I mean, I'm okay with solving riddles and puzzles, but I'm, you know, not that level, you know. But anyways, so, you know, the fact that Light and them offered, you know, Light Yagami to join, did I just say Light? I'm going to say L join, let, you know, Kira join the task force and everything. Oh, man. I don't know. Every time I watch that show, and I keep thinking to myself, I'm like, L, you crafty bastard. You know, it's like, Light Yagami thinks he's doing one thing, and then L is like always one step above him all the time. All the time. I actually feel bad for Light Yagami for being so careless. But then again, I know that, you know, in most Japanese movies, not all of them, but, you know, ones that are like that, the darker ones, and animes that are, again, dark like that, you know, pretty much it's one of those things where kind of everyone loses, more or less, the Japanese animes and some mangas and what have you. It always has to have kind of a down note of an ending. But then again, you got to think, it's a karma-based thing. So, you know, he murdered the world's population by the millions, hundreds, I don't know how many, I really don't know. And so, like, Yagami had to ultimately pay the price that Ryuk wrote his name in the Death Note. So, I don't know. I probably should have wrote down a few of the things, a few things that kind of really corked my rear end about that anime. But all in all, yeah, I don't want to go on too much, and I've stumbled and ranted and said what I want to say, but really, I honestly think that the biggest asset that he had was Misa, and he did not take full advantage of the situation. I mean, from what I got, I didn't think she was ever trying to one-up him, you know what I mean? So, I don't know. But Light Yagami felt that later on, when he got that one guy, God, what was that crazy guy that was the prosecutor, lawyer kind of guy? He had the long black hair with the glasses, and oh God, he was a crazy guy too. I can't think of his name. Tagami? No, I don't know. He had a funny name. Damn. Oh, I can't believe I don't remember the name. Well, I think it's with a T. I'm pretty sure. Tagami. I'm sorry. Names are like one of the things I'm really bad with. That's pretty bad to be, an anime lover and then in mangas and whatnot, and then half the time when it's like, oh, you remember that character, da, 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 and you're like, the guy with the hat, you know, or the guy with the sword, or the guy with the, you know, I'm one of those people. I'm sorry. But anyways, nonetheless, so his other follower, if you will, crazy guy with long hair, glasses, and all that, that guy, I mean, you know, later on in the series, I think it's like the last episode or whatever, when they switched out and swapped out the Death Notes, they swapped out the fake one to the real one, or whatever the heck. It wasn't quite clear. I had to like rewatch it like 3 times. I go, what? Like, yeah, I'm a little slow like that. You can leave your hateful comments below. I don't care. I have to make sure I get these things right, so I have to watch it 3, 4 times. Don't judge me. But anyways, so when Nier had one of his little task force guys, you know, take out the real pages of the Death Note from the 28th and then onward, and then swap them out with just ordinary paper. One thing that I thought to myself, when you're watching when Light Yagami's follower, crazy guy with the long hair, was behind the door and he had the Shinigami eyes and he's looking through the crack of the door, and then he's writing down the names, but no one's dying. 2 things could have happened. 1, why didn't the guy, when he had the eyes and whatnot, you know, Light Yagami's follower, why didn't that guy write down the names in the Death Note and say they die instantly? You can do that, can't you? You can say one dude takes his gun and shoots the other dude, and they just simultaneously just, you know, whatever, or suicide or whatever. No, he didn't. He didn't. And why wouldn't he? You know, well, just simple heart attack? I mean, is that, you know... But then again, I guess because they got careless, you know, and especially Light Yagami. That's another thing. He put all of his abilities and his missions and whatever into others' hands. So therefore, that's what got him screwed in the end. But anyways, the second thing crazy guy behind the door could have done with the Shinigami eyes, he could have, if that wasn't working in 40 seconds, okay? And they even said out loud, they said, I suspect that Light Yagami's follower will come from the door and peek out in 41 seconds to see if we are in fact dead from heart attack. Then from there, we will apprehend him and get him. They said this out loud because Light heard the whole thing, and he's talking back like, you know, they're talking to the dude behind the door like, it's okay, you can come out. We know you're there. At that point, Light could have said anything. He could have said, is your Death Note not working? Why don't you write on other pages? You know, whatever. Anything. You know, sure, it would have gave him away, but he was going to get caught anyway. So what the guy should have did was, you know, even though he had the pages beforehand, which were the real Death Notes, I believe. Did I got that right? I got to think about what I say there. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how it goes. So anyways, so from the 28th and on in the Death Note, they're fake. But every page before that is real, if I remember right. So why didn't he just flip back a couple pages and then just write names on top of each other? I don't believe there's any rule in the Death Note that says you can't scribble-scrabble names over another. Does it? I don't know. I didn't pick that up. Or does he write, like when he writes on a page, does he write on the back of the page? I mean, hey, there you go. I mean, I don't know. I didn't really get to see. Then all I know is at some point that Nier pulls out a Death Note out of his shirt and says, this is the real one, or whatever. And I'm like, what? I'm like, oh God, just, you know, I don't know. I guess they were screwed either way, but anyways, that's it. So the one I think that the one I feel sorry for the most is Misa and Light Yagami for being so careless. And most of all, why did they kill L? Poor L! Ah! Anyway, that's my pretty long rant, so thank you very much. Comment below, we'll talk about this, whatever. Thanks.